Welcome to the Shelf Learner, educating myself with the books from my shelf. I recently read the book Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. This was an eerie storyline about a fireman whose name was Guy Montag. The firemen in this story, they didn't put out fires, they started fires by burning books. When I read this book, as crazy it may sound, it made me think about how to outthink a horse. How to outthink a horse. You've heard the famous saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. I kind of pondered on that saying, and I thought, yeah, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. But how can you make it thirsty? So I went online and I typed in that question, and not to my surprise, there is an answer for it. I guess apparently what farmers do is they put electrolytes in the water to make the horse thirsty. And if you don't know what electrolytes are, they're basically minerals with electrical charge when it's dissolved in bodily fluid. So when these electrolytes are put in the water, it contains salt that makes the horse thirsty. With these electrolytes, it stimulates nerve impulses, muscle contraction, and when you have a proper balance, overall health. You may be thinking about, what does this have to do with the book? Bear with me. Well, in the story, the people were dumbed down, hooked on entertainment. It was illegal to carry a book in the house. And I thought it was interesting, the main takeaway of this story for me, at the end of the book was a dialogue between Guy Montag and a fellow member in a camp outside the city. And the individual was asking Guy about the state of affairs and had said that you cannot make people listen. They have to come around on their own. And unfortunately, it takes the world to fall apart for people to get the point. I started thinking about people being a lot like a horse. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You can lead people to the truth, but you can't force them to think. How do you inspire people to think? You give it a little bit of electrolyte. In the good book, it says that we ought to be the salt and the light in the world. Salt making people thirsty. The electrolytes, the master teacher over 2,000 years ago, one of the key things that he did was he would ask questions to get people to think. So how do you outthink a horse is by, when it comes to people, is asking questions. Triggering those nerve impulses, those mental muscle contractions to inspire them to think. You know, a lot of people, they're walking around zombies with dead batteries. What do you do when you have a dead battery in your car? You jumpstart it. You give it an electrical charge, kind of like electrolyte. Ask people questions. An example would be, how did you draw that conclusion? What assumptions do you have to make to come out with that answer? I hope this helps. This book, Fahrenheit 451, is a very inspiring book to get you to think about the value of reading and to be able to think critically. Because if you don't, you're going to end up like many of the people in Fahrenheit 451, doped up on entertainment, not having a clue what's going on around them. Encourage you to read the book, be inspired to think critically, and of course, make it a great day.